I thought I would continue giving away my 5th grade expertise in science and just do another science lesson because, it's easy for me to just do and just ramble on about, and also it's good practice for me. So, hope you guys like this, and if you do, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Alright, so last time we learned about different types of energy, and one of them was electrical. So we're gonna focus on electricity today. Also, it's sprinkling right now outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but it might end up storming later, so hopefully I get through this video before that happens. But anyways, alright, so electricity is pretty simple. It's all about charges, So when I mean by charges, I mean positive, negative, and neutral charges. Positive, negative, and neutral charges. So, you know that saying, opposites attract? That comes from electricity and the positive and negative charges. So, if you have an atom, right? You have your protons, your neutrons, and electrons. Those are responsible for your positive and negative charges. Protons, protons are positively charged. So they usually are represented by a plus symbol. So it's easy to remember, positive, pro, right? Neutrons. You might think, since it starts with an N, it might be negative, but it's not. It's neutral. Neutral because it has no charge. So neutral means no charge. It's neither positive nor negative. Then you have electrons, which are the negative charge, and usually represented by a minus symbol. So, when I say opposites attract, protons are attracted to electrons, and vice versa. So, positive goes to negative, negative wants to go to positive. And you might be wondering, what about if it's the same charge? So, a positive will want to go away from another positive. They will repel. They will repel, which means to go apart from each other. So, opposites attract. The same charge repels. So, another thing about these charges is that if you have a neutral, charge, it will also want to go to either one of these. So, let's have our neutrons be represented by the plus and minus symbol. So, neutrons are attracted to both positive and negative charges. Hopefully that makes sense. Alright, so that's the basics, literally the simple, basics of electricity. I'm not going to go too in depth in it because obviously it's for 5th graders to understand. So, whenever you're dealing with electricity, it wants to be attracted to certain types of material. And a lot of those materials we call conductors. So, conductors are materials that allow easy electrical flow, meaning it's a good hotspot to attract electrical charges. So some good examples of conductors are metals, water, and because we are mostly water, us. So that's why tall buildings might have a tall metal pole on top of them, so that when thunderstorms happen, the lightning is attracted to the metal conductor so that it doesn't hit another part of the building and potentially start fires or cause damage. So that's why it's not good to be outside during a thunderstorm, even if you're under trees or something like that, because you're more likely to be struck than some of the other things out there, even if they're taller or higher than you, because we are good electrical conductors. So the opposite of a conductor is an insulator, because it blocks or limits electrical flow. So, a good example of an insulator is like foam, plastic. I'm trying to think of another room. Rubber. Rubber's a really good one. That's why they say that if you're like in your car and lightning strikes, that your tires will absorb the lightning strike. I don't know how true that is. And sometimes the kids will ask me crazy stuff like that, and I'll be like, good question, what do you guys think? Yeah, I'll let you guys think about it for a couple seconds as I pull up my phone underneath and look it up. Sometimes, obviously, sometimes I'll admit I don't know it. If it's something outrageous, I'll look it up. But if it's something that I feel like I should know, or they might be like, how do you not know that? Then I'll look it up, because, if these kids catch you lacking, then they'll take advantage of that. Anyways. Alright, so we have our electricity, its basics, and how it interacts with the world around us. And this is going to lead us to circuits. Oh my gosh, I always spell circuits incorrectly, so I'm probably going to spell it incorrectly again. I know. I'm a teacher. How am I misspelling things? I know. So circuits use electricity. They use electricity to help us get lights and all that other good stuff that uses electrical charges. So there are 3 must-haves to every circuit. So the 3 must-haves. The first is a battery or a power source. Some sort of thing to get those charges started. Another thing it needs is a recipient. And that's like a light bulb or another object that's actually using or taking in the electricity from the power source. But you need one more thing. These 2 things usually just don't connect right to each other. You usually need a conductor, which is usually wires because they're metal, right? Because that allows the electricity to flow from one object or one thing to another while keeping it safe and contained, because you don't want that electrical charge just flowing wherever you want it to be concentrated or targeted, so that people don't get shocked or that fires and stuff don't happen. That's why a lot of wires have plastic coatings over them, because it works as an insulator to keep that electricity inside and on the metal. So, in order for a circuit to work, so for the power to actually be flowing, it has to be called a closed circuit. So if a light switch is on, that means it is a closed circuit. The light is on. The circuit is closed because the power from the battery is going to the light bulb, and then it runs back into the battery like this. This is how circuits work. So this is what we consider a closed circuit. And when we talk about things like light switches, they come with usually some sort of switch somewhere on that circuit that you can flip on and off, which is opening and closing the circuit. So when the circuit is opened, it's not working or not on. And then whenever you flip the switch, you close the circuit and the lights turn on, because it's allowing the electricity to continuously flow through. You need that electricity moving. It can't just stay stagnant. It has to keep moving and flowing. So that's why if you cut any points of these, it ruins the whole thing, because that circuit is now opened at some point, and you have to figure out where, and you have to fix it so that that electricity is not just spewing out somewhere else and not getting where it needs to go. So there's 2 different types of main circuits. You have series and parallel circuit. So the circuit we have right here is more of a series circuit. electricity to flow through. Battery light bulb, it just goes like that. And then a parallel circuit. Has more than one path. More than one path. So let's say your battery's down here and your light bulb's up here, and you get a cut somewhere right here. It can still travel. Oh wait, excuse me. See, as you can tell, I'm a little rusty. Also, maybe I got the names mixed up a little too. You know, I'm still teaching summer mode. But anyways, so if you cut right here, this cut point right here, this light bulb will go out, right? But this one will still work because it still has the path that it uses to go through. Same if it wasn't cut here and it was cut here instead. This one would go out, but that one would still work. So, things like old Christmas lights, they use series circuits, so if one went out, like even at the beginning or in the middle, all of them would go out because it would leave that circuit open now. But the newer Christmas lights are parallel, so if one goes out, then the others still work because their paths typically are left intact, unless it's like you obviously cut the whole thing in half, then you're ruining it. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Again, sorry if I had my terminology backwards a little. Still, I got like 6 more days until I go back, and then 13 more days until the kids come back, and then I'll refresh myself with all this stuff. So, but let me know what you guys would like to see in the next video, and I will do my best to provide that for you guys. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Good night.